Hey folks, welcome back to the Play School. It's me, Phil, with another piano tutorial. So today we're going to deal with another Coldplay track, Viva La Vida. So this is a great track. It's not really got that many chords, and they're going to look quite complicated in the outset. But once you get used to them, and there's some slight variations, and that's going to get you through the whole song, really. So it's kind of like deceptively simple, if you know what I mean. As usual, what I'm going to do is take you through all of the chords and the rhythm elements and the structure, and then at the end, I've got two little bits of extra jazz to make these interludes a little bit more interesting and break it up. So print out your chord sheet from the link below, and let's get cracking. Okay, so let's talk about the intro and the verse. This song is in the key of F minor, but to be honest, that is not really that helpful to us. Now, quick point. Bearing in mind we're in the key of F minor, we're going to go F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. I'm actually going to call these chords C sharp, because I find D flat hard to visualize, E flat, A flat, and F. Okay, now theoretically some of those should be their enharmonic equivalent, so C sharp should probably be D flat, but I find these chords easiest when I'm talking about them. So you know which note I'm talking about. Let's not get bogged down in the theory, okay? Now, here's our first chord. It's C sharp 5. Now what 5 means, just so you know, is that, let's take our C sharp, that's his C sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, right, and that is the first, third and fifth note in the C sharp scale. And what 5 means with a chord, if you ever see it, is you just miss out that third. We've only got 1 and 5. Okay, it's neither major or minor. For anyone who plays the guitar, you'll have seen that a lot, because that is what a power chord is. Now, so there's our first chord, right hand, C sharp 5, C sharp and G sharp. We're just going to take it upside down. Now our second chord, I've listed as E flat 7 sus 4. I'm not going to unpick that now because it is irrelevant to how we play it, because your right hand is going to stay the same. So we've got C sharp, then E flat, was the same 2 notes with your right hand, and all your left hand doing is taking its octave C sharps, going up to octave E flats. Now, we're going to play an A flat chord here, which means this G sharp has magically changed to an A flat. And we're just going to play an A flat and a C. And that is a true A flat chord now, right? Because we're going to put the E flat here. So A flat, C, E flat is our A flat full chord. We're just going to get rid of that for this hand, so that we've got this nice from there down to there, right? And for our left hand, we're not going to do the octave here. We're going to do a fifth again, right? So A flat and E flat. So all we're doing, and then you're going to keep your thumb where it is, and maybe bring that middle finger to your A flat. Our last chord, again, it's a true F minor, so F minor is going to be F, A flat and C, and we're just going to we've already got the A flat and the C here, right? And all we're going to do is make our octave again with our left hand, a good stretch, and that gives us our full A flat chord to finish the progression. Just take those round carefully, right? C sharp 5, E flat, A flat, twice round for the intro. I used to rule the world, season rise when I gave the word, and morning I'd sleep alone, so the streets that I used to own. There you are, that's your verse and your intro. So for those interludes that come in between, like the little verses, I'm going to give you some jazz for that at the end. But for now, let's move on to the chorus. Now, what have we changed here? We need to add some kind of depth to it, right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to expand our C sharp 5 chord all the way up to here. So we're doing exactly the same thing. We're just doubling that G sharp up there. And then same thing here. Again, just doubling that note. So far, all we've done that's different to the verse and the intro is that, right? We're going to add that one to the top. Now what I would do here is we're actually going to make an F minor add 9, right? What that means, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, is we're going to add a G because it's the 9th note. If you don't know the scale, the 9th is also the same as the 2nd note, so that's always 2 half steps up, right? And where are we going to add it? Well, we're still playing here. We were up there, and we're just going to drop down to the G. And it just gives it that extra little bit of colour. Now, the main thing here, so we've got our extra notes, broadly the same chords, right? We need to add some kind of rhythm. What I would do is I'd keep the right hand rhythm. The right hand rhythm is key to this piece. I would basically do it all the way through, right? But what we can do is start to embellish the left hand. So let's see, what was I doing there? Alternating between the two hands. We definitely want a downbeat. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3. And especially that last bit, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Little bit more momentum is going to make it sound different to the verse. Now there is one change which is really important because I guess, like I say, we've got the same chords all the way through, and this change in the chorus makes it really nice. So what we're going to do, we're going to do through this twice, right? Third time, we're going to make a slight change to lead us in. There's one different chord, which is a C minor, which we'll come to in a minute. First of all, we're going to start here again. Not there. Let's try there. Right? Now that's your first chord. We're looking at fourth. Reason I can't explain. So it's like the third time around the chords. C sharp 5, as ever. Now the next chord we're going to go up to is that one. It's still E7 sus 4, right? But we're going to add this B flat at the top. So now this is a little bit of an awkward one. I'd probably think about, we've got these two kind of adjacent black notes and these two adjacent black notes, and missing out 2 adjacent black notes in the middle. From we're going to take the octave up and pick up, sorry, not pick up that one. Yeah. So actually we're pivoting and adding the A flat, right? This is where our chords change for basically the only time in the entire piece, is we're going to go to a C minor chord. And this one is going to be like, we're going to keep the octave and we're just going to have our E flat. Yeah. So our melodic part of this chord sequence. Yeah. And our last chord is our F minor, which we're going to take back where we would have found it anyway. A flat, C, A flat. So we've got C sharp 5, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp. Then E flat 7 sus 4, E flat 7 sus 4, B flat, C sharp, A flat, B flat, C minor, C, E flat, C, F minor, A, C, A flat. Right, so if we've come out of the regular chord sequence, without the extra G there. Let's try that one more time. Same as we were playing before. Okay, let me try those chorus chords all the way through. Etc, etc. Okay, so that's the verses and the choruses. We're dealing with the interludes at the end. So we've got two bridges, both very simple based on what we've already learned, right? So that's our first bridge. We're going to start again as if we're doing the chorus. C sharp 5, big C sharps here, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp there. Now we're going to go up to our F minor, right? And all that entails is taking our left hand up to our F there and dropping this C sharp down to a C to take F minor again in this A flat, C, A flat position where we just found it in the chorus, right? So it's going to go three times. Then we've got an E5 chord. That rhythm again, we can just copy from the record, right? One more time. And so that's bridge one. Bridge number two is whoa, whoa. And that, you probably notice, is the same as the chorus. Okay, so that is pretty much all we need to know. So our structure, we're going to have the intro, then we're going to have the verse, all the same chords. Then there's a little interlude, which before we do the jazz, think of it as we can just play this again, right? And we'll just play that intro again, because it's just a variation on that. Then we have verse 2, then we have the chorus, then we have another interlude. Again, think of it as this. And we're going to add something to that in a minute. Then we have verse 3. Then we have another chorus, then you've got bridge 1, and coming out of bridge 1, we have this big whoa, kind of call that bridge 2, which is the same chords as the chorus, and then after that, we have another chorus, full-on chorus, and then you get to this nice little jazzy outro. Okay, so we've done our chorus through the climax. This outro, your first chord is a C sharp major 7, right? So C sharp, E sharp, or better known as F, G sharp, and then for our major 7 chord, it is always, let's go C sharp up to C sharp, half a step. Major 7 is half a step away. Actual note from the major scale. Okay, so that's your first chord, root position, C sharp at the bottom. Our second chord here is an E flat 7. So this one, E flat, G, and B flat. Now a 7, not major 7, 7 is, there's your E flat, 2 half steps down, right? Okay, or flat 7 as we like to call it. So we've got C sharp major 7, E flat 7, and then we've got C minor 7. So let's take our C minor here. C minor would be C, E flat and G. We're going to invert it, take the bottom and put it on the top. And then the 7 again. Now, you've always got to do your 2 half steps or your 1 half step for a major 7 from the root note. So there it is, that root note, that C, the note after which the chord is named, is at the top. So we're going to go. Now sometimes you can miss out the root note, the named note, because you're playing it down here. But actually, particularly when that is it's right at the top, it's quite often best to leave it in. So there. And then our last chord is F minor, F, A flat, C, root position. Want to make it sound exactly like what's going on? We're going to go. Just a little step up the end, right? And that's the end. Okay, 2 bits of jazz just to make these interludes stand out a little better. First one happens after your first verse, and we're keeping this, right? Hopefully, if you're this far in the video, that should be pretty familiar by now. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this little line over the top. Now, the tricky part, that's easy, your pinky's going to pick that up. Now, the tricky part, of course, is we need to keep the pinky held down whilst the rest of your right hand kind of picks up the middle of the 3 parts, right? There you go, if you can play that, you're better than me. So that's your first interlude. Your second interlude, again, it's a similar thing. Now, luckily this one, we're going to play the same rhythm with your right hand. The tricky part here is that the chords are a bit of a stretch. So we are here. Doing this again. This time, we want to add, all the way up there, we're going to add this B flat, right? And we're going to add it to all of the first 3 chords before we come back down to an A flat for our final F minor, a straight F minor chord, right? So it's going to look like so your top finger there is going that is how you play Viva La Vida. 4 chords, lots of variations. Have fun with that. Any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know below, and I will see you in the next video.